Your heart is pounding. Your mouth is dry. Your hands are slightly unsteady. And you haven't even walked into the room yet. You know your material. You've prepared. You've rehearsed. But your body is running its own program right now. And it's running the wrong one. This happens to almost everyone before a high-stakes moment. A board presentation, a job interview, a difficult conversation with a client, a performance review with your team watching. The preparation is done, but your physiology hasn't gotten the message. What if there was a technique so effective at controlling the human stress response that the United States military uses it to keep special operations soldiers functional under live fire? There is. It takes less than 5 minutes. And today, we're breaking down exactly how it works, why the science behind it is so compelling, and how you can use it before your next high-stakes moment. Whether that's a presentation to 50 people or a one-on-one conversation that really matters. To understand why this technique works, you first need to understand what's actually happening in your body when you feel that pre-presentation anxiety. When your brain perceives a threat, and yes, a high-stakes presentation triggers the exact same neurological threat response as physical danger, it activates the sympathetic nervous system. This is your body's fight-or-flight mechanism, and it's ancient. It developed over hundreds of thousands of years to keep your ancestors alive in genuinely dangerous situations. Adrenaline floods your bloodstream. Your heart rate spikes. Your breathing becomes shallow and fast, moving to your chest rather than your belly. Blood flow redirects to your large muscle groups, your legs, your arms, because your body is preparing to either fight or run. None of that is useful when you're about to give a presentation. But here's what most people don't know about the stress response. It has a specific physiological effect on your voice. Your vocal cords are controlled by small, delicate muscles surrounding the larynx. Under stress, those muscles tighten involuntarily. Your pitch rises. Your vocal resonance disappears. Your voice loses the depth and authority that commands attention and communicates confidence. This is why even experienced presenters sometimes hear their voice come out slightly higher and slightly faster than intended in the first moments of a high-stakes presentation. It's not a confidence problem. It's not a preparation problem. It's a physiological problem, and it has a physiological solution. The United States Navy SEALs are required to perform complex, precise tasks under some of the most extreme stress conditions imaginable. Combat situations where the cost of a mistake is catastrophic. To maintain cognitive function and physical control under that level of stress, they use a technique called box breathing, also known as tactical breathing, as a core part of their performance protocol. The technique is disarmingly simple. Inhale slowly for a count of 4. Hold your breath for a count of 4. Exhale slowly for a count of 4. Hold for a count of 4. That's one cycle. A box. 4 equal sides. The mechanism behind why it works is rooted in the autonomic nervous system. Your autonomic nervous system has 2 primary modes: the sympathetic mode, fight or flight, the stress response, and the parasympathetic mode, sometimes called rest and digest. These 2 modes are in constant dynamic balance, and the ratio between them determines your physiological state at any given moment. Here's the critical insight. The length and control of your exhale is one of the most powerful levers available to shift that balance. An extended, controlled exhale directly activates the parasympathetic nervous system. Heart rate drops. Cortisol levels decrease measurably. The muscles surrounding your larynx release their tension. Your voice drops back to its natural register. A separate study from Stanford University found that deliberate breathing techniques outperformed mindfulness meditation for rapid stress reduction in acute situations, meaning for those moments right before you walk into a high-stakes room. Controlled breathing works faster than any other non-pharmaceutical intervention available to you. This isn't fringe science or wellness trend territory. This is peer-reviewed research confirming what special operations soldiers have been trained to use in life-or-death situations. If it works under those conditions, it will absolutely work before your next board presentation. So how do you actually apply this? Here is the exact pre-presentation protocol, step by step. 5 minutes before you speak, find a quiet space. A hallway, a bathroom, an empty conference room, anywhere you won't be interrupted for 5 minutes. You don't need much time and you don't need any equipment. Begin 5 complete cycles of box breathing. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 4 counts. Exhale for 4 counts. Hold for 4 counts. Do this 5 times consecutively. By the 3rd or 4th cycle, you will feel a measurable shift in your physiological state. Your heart rate will slow. Your breathing will deepen. The tension in your shoulders and jaw will begin to release. After your 5 cycles, take one final slow, deep belly breath, expanding your stomach rather than your chest. This is diaphragmatic breathing, and it's the natural breathing pattern of a relaxed, confident body. Chest breathing is shallow and signals anxiety. Belly breathing is deep and signals calm, both to your nervous system and to the audience watching you. Then there's one additional technique worth adding to your pre-presentation toolkit. Before you speak, hum quietly for 30 seconds. It sounds unusual, but the mechanism is sound. Humming requires the slow, controlled exhalation that activates the parasympathetic response. It also warms your vocal cords gently, restoring the resonance and depth that stress had temporarily stolen. Many professional speakers and performers use some version of vocal warm-up for exactly this reason. Not just as a performance habit, but as a physiological reset. One thing worth emphasizing, do not review your slides or your notes in those final 5 minutes. Your preparation is done. Reviewing content in those last minutes adds cognitive load at exactly the moment you're trying to reduce it. Trust the work you've already done. Use those 5 minutes entirely for your physiology. Walk into the room at about 80% of your normal pace. Deliberate, unhurried movement signals control, to the audience watching you enter, and to your own nervous system receiving feedback from your body's behavior. 4 counts in, 4 hold, 4 out, 4 hold. Use this before your next presentation and pay attention to what's different. The voice that comes out will be lower, steadier, and more authoritative than the one stress was about to produce. The presence you bring into the room will be calmer and more commanding than anxiety would have allowed. The United States military developed this to keep soldiers functional under live fire. It will work before your next meeting. If you found this useful, subscribe so you don't miss next week's video. We're breaking down why most PowerPoint presentations actually hurt your message, what the science says about how slides work against the human brain, and what the world's best presenters do instead. Drop a comment below. What's your go-to strategy for managing nerves before a big moment? I read every single one.